Martini and Larry Legend, and this is all holes
Mm.
filled.
I shaved today,
Nice.
so I'm fresh and balding.
Hey, I like that kind of talk. I used to, with my last partner, he used to always offer to shave, but I never wanted him to because I like that au natural,
Yeah, I know.
you know. So
Yeah.
he would always say, "I need to shave," and I'd always be like, "For who?"
Why are you doing that? Why you
Right?
do that?
Yeah, I know. Right? Red flag. Red flag.
Robert
Because I ain't say shit
manscapes.
about it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like I am a swimmer's bod down there and all hairy everywhere else. It's just like he trims it up, keeps it fresh.
At one point I did, so I mentioned this on Rob's show actually, but I did have crabs at one point,
Oh
during
yeah,
my yeah, during my
I
young New
remember you
York
saying
life.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and it turns out the only way to really get rid of them is to just get rid of everything down there. You know, fuck what you heard about changing your sheets and all your linen and everything. What up, what up, what up? Begins and Lamar both check it out. All holes filled. What's up, y'all? But yeah, I got crabs and I got rid of them by shaving. And when I did, I noticed like how much larger my member looked. Like I just noticed like it's like whoa, I look like Lexington Steel up in this bitch
Oh,
or some
like
shit. Yeah, it's
milk
just
gives
you can
nose.
when you can see like more of your like body, your skin, your flesh, then it almost seems like that there's way more girth and length to the penis than when your bush starts. When your bush starts, it kind of like hides all
Yeah,
that extra shaft. So for a while I did, but then the crabs went away and I got lazy and I never really looked back.
that's so funny. It must be nice. It must be nice to not be that kind of person that's like, oh, I see one hair, gotta shave it all off.
I mean, there are people like that. I mean, that's one of the reasons we do. Hey, before we go any further, I just want to say, for those of y'all joining us, please share and like and thank you. Also, this is an adults only program. Okay, I am still learning all the things about YouTube and the guidelines, but this is an adults only program. We're going to talk about adult oriented themes, and this is not for kids. So I just want to start saying that disclaimer. Robert does it on his cast. I want to start doing it on our cast. This is for 18 and up.
Yes. Maybe 21 and up. Maybe just,
Yeah,
maybe
probably
30
21
and
and up
up.
because we really get down and dirty. But yeah, I never was a shaver except for doing that little part of my life, and I like hair. Like I don't like too much hair, like a bush all over, like a real bear. I don't like that, but I do like natural things.
Yeah. See, that's why I like very manly men, I guess you can say, because
Hmm.
I'm that, oh my gosh, I shave everything. I make myself look a certain way. Then when you see the
Hmm.
guy I'm with, it's like, how does that guy get that girl? I'm like,
Again,
I like
again.
them little grizzly bears.
Yeah, yeah, and I dig that. I love seeing, people that really, I don't know, you wouldn't necessarily put together. It's a testament to there's someone for everyone, and there's something that floats everybody's boat, as it were. So a lot of the times when I see like a hot, hot, hot girl with you and a kind of average guy, I might think that that guy has a lot of money, but I might also be kind of cheering him on, like, "That's right, man. You do your thing. Whatever's going on over there, I'm happy to see that you bagged her."
Yeah. Even like when you
You know?
see, like on HGTV, there's this one couple, and the girl is like so tiny. She's like, imagine me, and then imagine like three sizes bigger of Rob, and that's her husband. And I'm just like, man, you must really love this guy. Because I'm just like,
Yeah,
that is like having a polar bear on top of you. And I don't know if I want to be rolled on top of. I
yeah.
just like to be placed up below.
Well, I mean, that brings up a really interesting thing. When you see couples that look like that, don't you immediately start imagining, "Oh, what are they fucking like? Like, what's
Yeah.
who's who and where? How are they managing this?" Like,
Oh, I always judge couples. I'm like sexually, I'm always like, hmm. Like our neighbors across the street, we
mhm,
have I have decided that the wife is a quasi dominatrix and gets off on her sensitive husband's sensitivity. So it like if you saw this couple, you'd be like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And like they're very nerdy looking. Like you're very typical like glasses with the short hair and the hi guys kind of vibe.
mhm,
But I'm just
mhm.
like, man, you look at that girl and you're like, she's got like an inner freak inside her, but she's on the safe side because she's got to live it safe because she's just like all us women that want safety. so,
Right, right.
but I'm like, but she just like whips that husband of hers late at night.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I fantasize about what couples must be like underneath it all when they're in the privacy of the bedroom as well. And yeah, you can see the freak underneath a lot of like regular average looking facades. It's like that movie American Beauty, like where it's like, oh, hi everybody, but they're like beating the shit out of each other, like, the night that night behind closed doors. And I don't know. I think that's part of the taboo of all holes filled. We want to reveal, like especially with
I
the
want,
wrestling
yep,
community,
I
amongst
want to
the
know
fans.
everyone's
And
sexuality. Hey, I think
yeah,
sex is fun. I think we should all be like dolphins.
I know you said that before.
Mhm.
That's a little scary because that means guys would be running around jumping girls into the gang. Remember, like we
Yes.
discussed that a little bit, and I
I
feel
mean, they
like
do mate, but like think of it polygamy more than just a bum 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 bum. It's like they do like their own Tinder and stuff. So they have their own mating things, and then they're all polygamous. So they all just kind of have babies with each other.
I was I was visiting my friend in LA after Halloween in Hell 4, and he is a new dog dad, and he was like, I can't believe that like dogs like to say hi to each other, just go up to each other and sniff each other's butts. Like and like really like get their noses far up each other's butts to like say hi to each other. And I said to him, I was like, yeah, well, I bet you if that was acceptable amongst us humans, that would be exactly what people would be doing. You would be seeing guys like running around, like sniffing each other's butts. As they could. Like, dogs get a pass because they're beasts. We're like civilized and shit. But if it was like, who cares? I bet you it would be just as free as the dolphins and the fucking dogs.
Well, don't you think they probably look at us and go, "Look at them just like groping on each other like that, just hug each other like what? What? Ugh. At least I know that if I smell you and I want to fuck, it's gonna happen. These guys gotta work on it some more. You
Well,
just can't sniff a bitch.
yeah, well, the thing about it is though is I was like, I feel like that as humans do have a very strong sense of smell that we're not as aware of, that we don't acknowledge as much as animals do. But I feel like that when you find a partner, you are attracted to the scent that they emit that you can't even really detect, and vice versa. Or
Well,
maybe you grow into each other.
you know that questionnaire thing, that Not Gonna Lie app, NGL app? Well, somebody asked me what was like an automatic turn on, and I said that like someone's natural scent. Like if I'm like when you're horny and you're ready to go, you smell your mate. You smell that person, you're like, give me heart.
Dude, I yeah, we are the same. We are exactly the same, and that's why I always talk about that guy who stopped mid heavy petting to go douche, and then he came back, and I was like, "This is not fun and fair, and why did you do that to me at this point when I was ready to fuck?" You know? So, that's part of being a partner with someone is you can take their scent, good and bad,
Mhm,
so yeah, I wanted to ask you something after Halloween Hell Night and 4
mhm,
and the Miss Extreme contest. After that Miss Extreme contest, if y'all didn't check it out, it's available now on streamxpw.com. Kat and I are both heavily featured in the production, but out of those four ladies, was it four? It was J Love, it was Maddie, it was Evelyn, and it was America. Out of those
mhm.
four,
Yes,
if you could pick just one to have a go play cat, go play. Cat could be let out to play. Who was yours that you kind of were like, oh, I'd have fun with that.
definitely Evelyn. That's like that's which is another funny thing about me, is that's my type of girl. Like, how she those are the kind of girls I'm attracted to. Like, just I'm like,
Hey
oh,
Johnny,
and I don't
yeah.
get and I don't get that kind of turn on by just a regular girl. And trust me, I love women. I'm just like, oh, she's so hot. She's so hot. Like, look at this, look at that. But when it comes to a heavily tatted girl, I'm like, I'm like, please stop. Be still my heart.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love tattooed women. Like, I just, I'm so into it. Like, that's just my type of girl. So when I first saw Evelyn, I told Saul, I was like, oh my God, she's like so hot. Like, it's just so intense right now. And he's like, she's gonna come out. When she finally did, I was just like, yeah, I would marry her. And like, I'm hugging her. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally married this girl.
Wow, yeah, Evelyn's hot. Evelyn definitely looks like she would be a good time in bed. I was getting the most attention from Maddie Meadows, for better or worse, and I also liked that she was basically just she had pasties on, so it's basically like and also I was seeing her for the first time. I had already gotten a taste of Evelyn in California at the Derby Room, so I'm not trying to say the luster was gone, but I knew what Evelyn was giving. Maddie was like new to the fold of women, and I just loved how kind of good time girl attitude she had. And she even came up to me and she was like, "We're gonna hang out. You and I, we're gonna hang out." And I know what that means. I know what that means, and I'm
Yeah,
like, yes, we are.
bucket
You
list
know?
markings.
Yeah, yeah. And also I like that Maddie had like a boyfriend, a very like I don't want to say feminine, but definitely like an anime, smaller, slight
Yeah.
boyfriend, and I'm kind of like, huh, what's going on over here?
Well,
Like,
if you look at her Twitter, she made that one post when she's like, "What content do you want to see? Femdom, dominatrix, this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that girl, that boy definitely be doing some wild, wild shit."
yeah. Yeah, so like I kind of like was thinking knowing that nothing was going to happen because, when you're doing these productions, you're so tired, afterwards a lot of the times that like you're like, I just want bed, but I was like, if in the right set of circumstances she comes back, she comes over to Jersey, she really becomes one of the XPW girls. She and I
Mhm.
we're gonna probably be thick as thieves. So yeah, that was my number one.
So yeah, but Evelyn, that was her first time there. You're probably getting her mixed up with Ivy.
Oh wow, wait, really?
Yeah, that was the first time Evelyn was there. Um, Ivy Locks did the first Miss Extreme, and
Oh, that's right.
they look
Wow,
exactly
throwing myself
alike. I
under the
know, like
bus.
like how their hair and everything is, with the tongues.
Oh,
Did you
wow,
see
okay.
Evelyn's toy? Did you see it?
No.
The mold of her mouth and her tongue, and it's like 14 inches.
No, I did not. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah!
you could
They
stick
used
that
it in
up your
the
butt.
contest. It had
Wait, what?
that big pink thing. It was like a big pink dildo, but if you looked at it, it was the mold of her mouth and her tongue, and
Oh,
they were
wow, that's what
spanking
that
each other with it.
was.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, that Miss Extreme contest was definitely kind of a
What?
schmoz because, I mean, they all won in my eyes based on what they did. But that was a lot of fun. And I was kind of thinking about all four of them and thinking, like, if I could roll around with one, just like, who would I pick? Yeah, so I wanted to ask you too, because I know you probably be feeling like me after these shows. Another thing that you feel a lot of the times, especially the XPW shows, is horny because of all the fucking just men crashing into each other and women rolling around and
Oh
shit.
my
It's like,
god.
so I'm always on the prowl, really, regardless.
I
But
love it.
yeah, wow, I got Ivy Locks and Evelyn Inc. Well, very similar names too, like Ivy
Yeah, and
Locks,
they're both
Evelyn
from
Inc.
Slava, so
Yeah, Slava has a type.
yes. You think?
He's got a type of broad he brings. Is Darcy his too? Does Darcy come from Slava?
Um, Darcy, well, she's moving to California, I think, actually. I think she is.
Good.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
her boy, like, she's got a boyfriend out here, so I think her and her kid are moving out to the States.
Nice.
Out to the States from
I liked
Canada.
her too. Oh, she's a Canuck.
Yes. A Canuck. All I heard was cuck, and then I realized you did not say that.
No, no, a Canuck. A Canuck. That's like I think that's a derogatory term for them. That's a derogatory term for Canadian people.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, we were talking earlier about topics.
Hmm. Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
When was your first most intense, earth shattering? You felt it from the head to the tip of your toes, and all you wanted to do was puke and pee and poop and cry and yell all at the same time because it was so intense, earth shattering orgasm.
Um, yeah, it wasn't actually that long ago. It really wasn't. I would say, gosh, I wish I remembered the date because I'm big on numbers, but it wasn't this past summer. It was the last summer before this one. Um, and I had the like the coming without touching myself, like the fucking prostate
Oh,
explosion, if you will. I had that, and that is something that I knew was achievable. And there had been a couple times where I felt like I almost got there, and it felt really, really like a lot more enjoyable. But last summer, it was like I was just like crying. I was like crying afterwards, and I also was crying because I was like, ah, I had been wanting that for so long, and I achieved it. And then I also was thinking about how hard my partner was working, because as soon as I came, then he came. So I was like, he was like working really hard to get me off, and he achieved it, and then he could release. So it was like really beautiful. And that just happened like 2 summers ago.
I love
So
it.
yeah, it was awesome.
That's so romantic. Like that is like the most romantic way to have the most like greatest orgasm of your life.
Yeah, but you know what the sad part about it is that as earth shattering as it was for me, I guarantee you for him it was just fucking and that is like the cold hard pill that someone as sensitive and emotional as me has been hit with a couple times where I'm like, this is life. And they're like, what? And I'm like, right? And they're like, I guess. And I'm like, oh, you're nowhere near where I am right now. I'm like all the way up. I'm all the way up on the clouds looking down. You're just like going to sleep, you know? So, how about you? Do you remember your first earth shattering, crying, I'm peeing, and doing everything? I can't believe this.
Um, yeah, it was when I was 21, and it was with this, like, which is really funny. He was a really good friend of mine, but he was also like friends with benefits. But we were
Hmm.
like, but we were very smart in how to separate everything. So
Right.
it was the first time I ever squirted ever. And he had me like the pile driver, and I'm like, "Ah!" I don't know, whatever the fuck I was doing. And he like pulled out his finger and I just like start like raining all over myself. And I was like shaking. I was like, and I even
Yeah.
was shaking so bad I gave myself the hiccups.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I,
he had to fuck me through the hiccups. He didn't care. So I'm like,
yes.
don't touch. Like, I'm so sensitive. Every time you touch me, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna puke. Every time you like fucking touch me, I'm so sensitive.
Mhm.
And he like just, it was just, but yeah, I like always remember. I mean, he was like the greatest fuck my entire life, like ever. But then he like turned out to be a total douche. But of course that happens. But that orgasm, oh, if I could
Yeah.
relive that certain time, just to go back to that moment, do it just to feel that, just to feel the waterfall of my vagina.
Yeah, I as well, like, I actually ejaculated more than I'd ever ejaculated in my life, a scary amount. And I remember afterwards, like, my partner turned on the lights and, like, was like, "Oh my god," literally, like, the look on their face was like, "Whoa, like, what have we done?" But yeah, those moments you never forget and you hold on to them like a warm blanket because they happened. They happened and you were
Yeah.
able to achieve it with someone. And I like that you said friends with benefits that set boundaries. I have had so many of those over my life. I have had so many friends with benefits where the boundaries are set. And you know what? It always goes kind of funky, but at least we
Mhm.
tried and we fucked.
Yeah, because I think also it's like no matter, there's always emotional connections with friendships as much as there are
Hmm.
with like an actual loving relationship. So,
Yep.
I mean, it does get difficult. I could say that he was like that person that I truly was like in love with, but and it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm so in love with you. It was just I was like he was like that. He was a cancer. So he was just as emotionally stable, unstable, stable as me.
Yeah, I've yet to really I've yet to really gallop with another Sagittarius. I've had a lot of other Sagittariuses that are like super close to me, like brothers and sisters, but I just have never crossed that threshold unless it was with a one night stand and I wasn't aware that the great sex we were having was amongst two centaurs. But yeah, every time two of the same sign get together, it always like blows my mind. I'm like, how are you like
Yeah.
compatible with yourself that much that you're like and cancers I've known to do it, but it's so strange to me when you're both like an Aquarius or both Taurus.
Well, I think double signs are always better. So Pisces, Gemini, Cancers, what is it, Libra? So it's like they have double the sign. So I think they kind of tend sexually to be more as one because I mean, hell, cancer's
Yeah,
69. Hold on, is it this arm? You want to see a drunk tattoo I got at 20 years old? It's so
that is
bad.
definitely a drunk tattoo.
It is so bad. Look at that. But
It's a
it's supposed
heart.
to be no, it's the 69 with the moon.
I thought it was a heart and a clover and a moon.
No, it is. But the black is a 69.
Let me see.
I'll have to take a
Okay.
picture of it. It looks like shrimp.
Yeah. Or I just gotta look at you better harder when we're actually together. I'm sure I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I just haven't paid attention. All
But
right,
yeah,
Gins is saying it's too much astrology talk. We got to get back to the fucking. So, the people have spoken. I've got a follow up for earth shattering orgasm. Can you tell me, or can you remember like kind of like one of the most exciting quickies? Like quickies, they come and they can be great things or bad things, and sometimes in the moment you only have a little bit of time. But can you tell me about a really exciting quickie that you had where it was like, all right, let's get it done real quick, and then we'll go back to the meeting or something.
South of heaven. Before, like, we were both in the hotel room alone, and he just hits my face with his cock, and I'm like, "Hey," and he's half hard. I'm like, "Ugh," and then we fucked, and then that was it.
That is awesome. That's
You shove a
awesome.
cock in my face that's right by my mouth. It's gonna go in it. Like,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm sucking that dick too.
I'm eye level. Well, you
Word.
just happen to
Yeah.
be standing there, like you don't want a blowjob.
Hell yeah! Wow, Rob wanted to relieve a little stress before all of the stress of the show. I'm
No,
surprised he wasn't.
this was the next day. So when
Oh,
we
okay.
left, yeah.
Yeah,
So when
again,
everything was over,
after the shows, all that horniness from getting it done, being around all the stimulus and shit.
in the stress,
Um, and the what?
a little stress.
Yes, yes, a nice stress fuck. So that is a perfect segue into mine. That is a perfect segue into mine. So at one point, one of my friends with benefits, this is so wild, was like delivering the mail as a summer job and was delivering the mail in my neighborhood. And actually I got some really bad news, like some really like terrible news over the phone that had me kind of like literally like I can't believe what I just heard. No one died, but it was just kind of like I was really in a very let down headspace and just kind of like in shock, like one of those phone calls where you're like, whoa. And like shortly after that, my friend came to deliver the mail and like I was like telling them about it and they were like, "Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm almost done my route. Do you want to smoke real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah." And the whole time I was still kind of like shook up. And Kat, I don't even remember how we got on top of each other, but we just ended up like really quickly fucking. And it totally took my mind off of the fucking trauma, the little trauma that I'd taken. And I remember after he left, and it was very quick. It was like very quick because like he had to get the truck back and shit. He was at the end of his route, but he's still working. um I was like thinking, wow, he like fucked me better, or like kind of like fucked me like at a time where I was highly emotional and like needed some sort of like positivity, some positive boost. And that quickie was like really exciting and really kind of like, oh, you're at work, you're not supposed to be doing this, and you're like fucking plowing me on the floor. And it was yeah, I fondly look back on that time, that and I can say I fucked the mailman. Like I don't have to tell people that it was a friend of mine. I can always just be like, yeah, and then the mailman came and fucked me, and that was that. Yeah, that was a good
with a
one.
Johnny
That was a
Sin,
good no.
you're like, I wish, but no.
Yeah, I
Hold
was
on, would
just
you
thinking
fuck Johnny
about that.
Sin?
Johnny son.
Would you fuck Johnny Sins? If you don't know who Johnny Sins and you don't watch a lot of porn,
Johnny Sins?
yeah. He's the tall white guy, bald. He's the mailman. He's the doctor. He was the camp instructor. Um, he's your stepdad. He's everything. Johnny
I
Sins.
don't think I know Johnny Sins.
I
I don't
can't
think I
believe
know who
it.
that is.
Everyone knows who he is. He's
Maybe
a
I know who he is,
smile.
but I maybe I know who he is, but I just don't
But then
know
again,
who he is.
if you watch porn, you're no, actually, it's not a stereotype because that's kind of ridiculous. I was gonna say you probably watch other men fucking, but they do say gay men do like to watch girls get fucked. I've heard that being a thing.
I actually only watch girls getting fucked. I don't watch any gay porn ever. Sometimes I'll stumble down a rabbit hole of gay sex and I'll get excited by it while watching it and I'll like fucking get off to it. But like I'm definitely looking for Johnny Sins porn, not fucking, Castro or one of these fucking, you know, porn gay icons. I am never really into it. There's some that are like really hot because they're like exhibitionists, like in a car in a Walmart parking lot and shit like that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my god, they don't give a fuck. Like they're just filthy and fucking. That's great. But no, I enjoy straight porn only. Johnny Sins, I'm gonna look him up. I got like now I'm over here, I can look shit up. Um
And it's not a matter
the
if you watched him. It's just a matter of like he's just the porn icon. Like everyone knows who he is. Him because it's Brazzers. So if you know Brazzers, he's like the guy for Brazzers. It's him, Karen Lee. Um,
Oh, this guy, yeah, I know
yeah,
him. Yeah.
Smile.
Huh. I never watched them fuck though.
Put
A
in
doctor, an astronaut, a veteran, a teacher. Yeah, I never watched this guy, but I mean, I can name a lot of porn stars. I watched a lot of porn. Like, I dropped the Lexington Steel earlier. Like
I
those guys.
I like amateur porn. Of course, I know the big people of porn, but I like watching real people fuck. But then again, I like watching disgusting shit that you wouldn't see a glamorous company do.
Yeah, yeah, same. Amateur porn is where it's at because they're actually really fucking. A lot of the
Hmm.
times when you watch the pros, you can tell that the guy's not even all the way hard,
Are the
and
girls
that
not
like,
into it?
it totally takes me out of it. I'm like, ugh, like for real, you know?
But yeah, so you need to watch Johnny Sins. I'm trying to think. Um, what was the other topic you were saying? You said you wanted to ask about blackouts and fucking, so we can talk
Oh
about
yeah.
blacking out
Well,
and
wait,
fucking.
well, wait. Okay. Oh, yeah. I said, let's talk about times where we've woken up the next morning or whatever, and like we don't remember like how we ended up in that bed with that person, like if we can tell immediately like, oh, we fucked, like oh shit, like I fucked, like those times. Like, do you have a good story about like waking up the morning after and being like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Like,
Yeah, I've woken up a lot of times. Like, I'm such a horrible. This is going to be a horrible, horrible story. Okay,
that's what we
please,
want on all host
please
film.
do
We want
not
the
judge
horror.
me. Please do not judge me. Okay,
We don't judge here on this show.
so I used to hang out, and I'm gonna say it in. It's not hanging out like, oh, okay, yeah, you hung out. It was more of like he was a friend, but I only saw him as a friend. But I knew he always wanted to fuck me, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't." So, like, I took one for the team, like, 2 times before I was like, "This is just ridiculous." Um, but I would have to get so fucked up to be mentally there to fuck him. So I woke up the next day and I was like, everything hurts. My badge hurts, my throat hurts, my ass hurts, and I'm like, "How big of a slut was I last night?" Like, damn, I, like, went all out. Like, I must have and he goes, "Yeah, you also told me you were in like with me." I was like, "What?"
What? Wow.
And then I kept questioning myself of how, like, do I really like this person? Like, is there something wrong with me? And the reason why I'm so nice to him is because I know how evil I can be, and I don't want him to fall for it because he's a really nice guy. But I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I
Wow, that
fucked
is
him.
fun.
So I fucked him one other time, and it was pretty okay. And that was it. And I was like, meh.
That's intense. That is a
So
wild way to live, and I love it. I love it. Um,
please do not judge me for my poor
we
decisions.
don't we don't judge. We don't judge here on All Holes Filter. We wouldn't even be doing this, and I wouldn't be getting ready to tell the story that I'm telling because mine is really not that exciting. All that needs to be said is that at one point in my life, I clubbed every weekend. There's one point in my life that I clubbed every weekend with my partner. And not only was it my partner, but it was also my partner's crew of like other young gay men. So we would all get together. We would come from separate parts of New York and we would go to the gay young clubs. And I don't remember what happened. I think it was like the start of summer, like the real start of the nice weather. But we got this bottle of this vodka called Devil Springs. And it's like a vodka that you're supposed to mix. It says it right on the thing. Mix this with something, you could die. Like it's that strong. And like we kind of were like challenging each other to drink it straight. And I drank it straight. And there was like fire going down my thing. And pretty much from that point on to even the club and the ride to the club, I don't remember anything. And I just remember waking up the next morning surrounded by the entire crew. And there was like a lot of pressure on my butt. Like I felt like there was a lot of pressure on my butt, like, but I also was like just hung over, like head like doo, 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 like don't even want to like lift your head off of the mattress, like looking all around. And we were all just like in the bed and I was like thinking to myself, wow, did these but like that's the thing, my clothes were on. Like my clothes were on and shit. So I'm like, well, it couldn't have been that bad. But I was like thinking like, wow, what if they all like took turns raping my hole? But I figured there'd be some evidence of that. But it's not nearly as exciting as yours, but that's a time where I woke up just like groggy in a haze and just not remembering what the fuck had happened the night before.
But then you're like, "Oh, I think all of them just took my booty hole."
And that was like awesome of a thought, but like I was like, but I would want to have remembered that. Like I don't want
Yeah.
it to be like I wake up from a dream and I'm like, oh, and then what happened? Who did I take first? Oh, I was being accordioned by who? Like I want to like I want to have like been like remembering that, but I didn't. And I'm pretty sure that didn't happen, but who knows? They may have all fucked around me. That's another thing I was thinking. I was like, what if like they were like, what if like, because I had a partner, what if my partner like fucked another member of the crew that they used to fuck, that they broke up with, and there was always a jealousy that now Larry's with my ex, so they just fucked in front of me just to be like, yeah, and what? You're fucked up, you're passed out. Like that's another thing I thought about because these were some young times and some really strong personalities and like that scenario that I just told you about, like other members of the crew had like been with one another at times. I had been with multiple ones, not knowing that there was a crew that existed. So That time alone. Thank you, Johnny. You like that story? Yeah, John
Hey.
Richter gave us a $5 super chat. Thanks, John. Yeah, that was a good one. We're full of stories here on All Holes Spilled, me a cat, and it just takes me remembering my wild 20s in New York and some of my 30s here in Baltimore to like recount a lot of this stuff. But yeah, that was a blackout story, and yeah, I was a little disappointed if that happened. I was scared a little, like what happened, but then I was a little disappointed, like, oh, I wish I would have known what happened, and it was left at that.
Have you ever had, like, hungover sex? Where it's just
Yeah,
like you wake up and you're just like, "I'm gonna keep my eyes closed, but just you can fuck me if you want." I swear
yeah.
that is probably the most intense kind of orgasm one can have because it kinda helps the pounding everywhere else, so you're like, "Okay." But I've only had anal hungover sex. I never had it in my vag. So every time I was hungover and
Huh.
sex was involved, it somehow ended up in my butt. It was just like, right on. I can come from my butt. It's all good.
Yeah.
And then
I
and then
mean,
it gets done and they come inside my butthole and then they like roll over and I'm like, I'm going back to sleep.
hell yeah.
I don't
Hell
give
yeah.
a fuck.
Yeah. That was like actually with the mailman, like after he had came in me, like I was like walking him out and I was like feeling like the cum in between my butthole and I was thinking like, wow, I'm just walking around with with your cum in my butt as I walk you to the door, like, and I'm totally not thinking about that traumatic phone call that I'd received. Like, so that's what I meant. It was like he like I don't want to say fuck the pain away, but like kind of yeah, like like there are other things going on, like this dick that you just took, and I was like, yeah, you're right, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I've had some hungover sex. Obviously, with me, it's always been anal. Well, actually, not obvious. Not obvious. As a matter of fact, probably more times than not, if it was gonna be me banging a girl, it'd probably be like hungover sex, like after a party or something. Like
Yeah.
but no, like it's always been anal, and yeah, I've had that, and you're right. The pounding of that takes away from the pounding of this, but there has been some times where I've had hangover sex, like on New Year's Day, where I'm like, "Oh, just finish, please
Yep.
finish already." Like, okay, I got it. Yeah, you're great. You're great. Can we get done so I can go back to sleep, or we can fucking go home. You can take me home or whatnot. So
So
yeah,
I have a question. Okay, this is like, and it's like a kind of
I love
interesting
questions.
question. If you had the opportunity to have a vagina for a day, would you take that? You only get 24 hours with your vagina. Would you take 24 hours with a vagina?
No, no, I would not because my booty hole is my vagina. Like to me, that is my hole that God has given me for like getting fucked. I would live 24 hours as a woman. I would
Okay.
definitely do that, like 100%. Like I would definitely like be like Cat Martini for a day, but not like Larry just with a pussy. No, I don't. I already have one. I already have one back there.
You got your monster clit and your tight vagina.
I would love to live one day as a woman. I'd probably like see how easy it was to just fuck. Because there was one time I heard a saying, it was like you can imagine a guy going through his whole life never having sex, but it's almost impossible to imagine a woman going through her whole life.
Yeah.
Or a woman like, like being like a 40-year-old virgin, like that movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That
Yeah.
would never work with a woman. Like, but a guy, that's humorous. And yeah, we probably do know some guys that are 40 years old, never got a fucking piece of ass. So
I don't know, man. I
would
wonder
you
when.
would you live as would you live with a dick 24 hours with a dick?
Mm, Probably.
Y You know, I guess the parameters of it being 24 hours is also something that I have a problem with. Like, if I had it, I'd wanna have it, like, it's mine now. I can explore, I can name it, it's mine. But, like, just 24 hours with is no fun, like and
I think, hmm, if there was a straight girl that I wanted to fuck, I would probably take the penis and just fuck her all day and call it a day and be like, "Ah, okay, then we fucked."
see, and I feel like that you probably, as Cat Martini with a hard penis, could, like, fuck a straight girl. They'd be like, "Oh god, yeah, you got dick? Fuck me." But me, as a gay man with a pussy, I have a ton of straight guys that I would love to fuck me that I'm friends with. They would be like, "No, I'm not fucking that pussy, it's on you." Like, but if I could, like, you know, in some sort of witchy way, get inside of a woman and then seduce my straight friends, and they're like giving me their all for real as if they're fucking a girl, but it's actually me. That's I would the parameters of the 24 hours are kind of also why I wouldn't want to. I would be like not down. Um,
Do
what
you?
else?
Mm. So, what do you like better? Now, I had to assume you've tried Molly,
Yes.
and I had to assume you've done poppers.
You know what? I never did poppers.
Yeah,
My last,
I
yeah,
can't use
I
my
never did.
comparison now. I was gonna say, like, what do you get? Oh, how about Coke? Have you ever
Oh
done
God,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh fuck yeah.
What has your best dick reactions been with doing ecstasy, Molly, MDMA, or Coke?
Kat, this is really strange, but I'm a little afraid of ecstasy and Molly. Like I do them like a lot of the times when my friends insist, but I'm never seeking that out. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
And I like the way it makes me feel
Yeah.
so that has definitely been my most explosive dick experience have been with Coke. I've never sprinkled any on my dick. But I hear that that's like good for you and her. I don't know about for you and him. I've heard about like
I've never done the dick thing. I've I do have to say sex is more intense with Coke.
Mm,
Ecstasy, man,
yeah.
that's like it's crazy because it's like it's almost like doing shrooms and having sex where everything seems so like this and you're just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And you have to kind of not be in bright light because the intenseness of the bright light, opening and closing your eyes, you're like, "I'm gonna have a like heart attack doing this." Um, but the last time I did, um, I did Daredevil, which is ecstasy, and the guy that I was having sex with literally was growing horns out of his head and he was becoming a monster. So as he was fucking me, all I kept seeing were these horns and him going, "Whoa." I was like, oh god. And if I close my eyes, I can still see it. And he's just like, and I feel like he's literally moving like this. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna die right now. He's gonna kill me. And you wanna know something that's, like, trippy about it?
Yeah.
Is when we went our separate because it was, like, a vacation, so it was I did stuff for Girls Gone Wild for the production crew, so I was behind the cameras, and I met him there from one of the college parties. So, after we went our separate ways and I'm, like, unpacking, his, like, fucking rosary was inside my luggage, and I'm like, "How the fuck did this get here?"
That's spooky. I would have burned the
So
luggage.
weird. I'm like, "Oh my god, like, Satan really was coming after me last night."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Just like Rosemary's Baby when she like is thinking it's a dream, but it's actually a ritual and like You don't
Oh,
know that you're an unknowing participant in some otherworldly shit.
yeah. So I was just like, "Oh my god, get me the fuck out of here." It happened in Texas, and I'm from Texas. I swear, Texas is gonna like curse me every time I'm out there. I feel like I'm like heebie-jeebied, like, "Ooh."
Well, I can't wait to go back soon with XPW at the beginning of the year. We're both going to be in Texas. And when we're in Texas, we're going to be horns high, a couple of horny little devils.
Oh my gosh. You walk around like this, everyone be like, "What are you doing?" "It's my horns." And they're like, "We're not Longhorns fans out here, buddy."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forget. It's like so many different like sections of Texas. There's like the Oilers and the Cowboys and the
The
like it's
Oilers.
like yeah, the Oilers. The Oilers.
We don't have the Oilers anymore, unless you're talking
Oh,
about people, like the oil tycoons. But if you're talking about a sports team, there is no Oilers anymore.
they're gone?
The Houston Oilers? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, I don't even know about sports ball for real because I don't have anybody that like watches it like your husband. Like, oh, I didn't even know.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big football person. Well, I'm a big sports person, but I never had sex in a stadium. Wait, wait, no, that's a lie. I've had
Yeah,
sex at the, stadium during, um hold on. Was it shit, I can't remember. It's either Slipknot or Korn, and it was at the hockey
two great
stadium.
bands to fuck to.
So, I fucked in the bathroom. Oh my god. So I'm a slut. SLUT
I
slut,
mean,
what's up?
me too,
Propane on my
Cat.
you wanna bust a nut.
Me too.
Uh.
Yeah,
Make the tits go boop, 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 boop,
yeah.
boop.
That's
Titty
who we are.
flags.
We're we're sluts and we're getting all our
Look
holes
at that.
filled
You get
here.
to pop a nipple out. Me, they have to stay
Yeah.
enclosed, and I can just go
I know.
bum, bum, bum,
I get
bum.
the fucking. I can do that.
We
But
do this thing
hey,
called
shout out to
hit
our
rate.
viewers. Oh shit, Cap, we only got 8 more minutes left.
Oh
We
my
talked
gosh.
that much. I can't believe it. Let's talk about what do we. Ginsburg called out that last week when we did our five. When we did our
Mhm.
five, he's like, "I've asked you the same thing 2 weeks in a row about your favorite position," and that's because I'm not really thinking about a five. I feel like the whole show is like a back and forth of
A questionnaire.
five. Yeah, but since we are coming down to the wire, did you have any? If you do, I'll answer. I can't say that mine are going to be as good.
What is the biggest thing you've ever put into your butt?
A penis.
That's it? No
Penis.
toys or
No, no,
vegetables?
I told you I'm not into playing with my butt really.
Yeah.
I'm really
Not
not
even a
into playing
partner?
with.
You never had a partner that was like, "Hey, I want let me see you put this in you."
I did have a partner that had toys, but they never broke them out with me. They just like had them for. I know, like it's okay. I don't care. Like if you would ask, I would probably say yes, but you never asked, so I'm not gonna be like put a toy up my butt when you can just have your dick up my butt.
Yeah.
Like I would rather like a hot thing up my butt, not like an inanimate thing up my butt.
Do you prefer wait, I wonder, have I asked this already if you preferred facials or coming in your butt? I don't know if I asked that. I probably have. I just don't
Um,
remember.
I enjoy guys busting in my mouth. I do not enjoy them pulling out and busting in my eye and up my nostril. Although that has happened, and it's been really awesome when it has happened. Um, but I don't. I would rather like a self-contained cock as the fucking pumping is starting and the screaming and, or whatever like that they're coming. I like that. The perfect seal.
Oh, I get what you're saying, the porno. A porn twice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. Oh, like I like that. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully I get to do a little of that soon. I tried to hook up with my last hookupy. Like
Oh.
I tried to get with them this weekend, but they're busy.
Mm.
I know.
They cancel your plans.
Well, work. I'm always like, just call out. Fuck that job. But we'll get it. Patience is a virtue, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I was getting out of something, making me very like not or afraid. Like now, I'm like, I'm ready.
I'm
Talking about
here.
all this sex on
Rarely
all
is
holes.
here.
Talking about all this sex on all holes filled has me wanting my hole filled.
Do you ever get
For
horny
real.
after the show? I could
Oh
start
God.
telling some real raunchy stories on our podcast to see if I can get you horny.
Oh no, I'm super horny after the shows, and we've had a bunch of them. I was walking in the hotel with Terex and Hardcore Hillbilly, who had an awesome match at Halloween in Hell 4, can I say? And we were walking through the hotel at that time where like the crew is like cleaning the rooms, and to signify that the room has been cleaned, they leave the door open. And I confessed to Terex and Hardcore Hillbilly, I was like, not here, because I can tell this is a nicer kind of hotel. But sometimes when I've like saved at like really dive hotels, like really shitty hotels where there are a lot of cameras, I've like gone in those rooms and jerked off just cause. Like at checkout time, like I've gone like to a different floor and found like where all the doors are open for like the next guest, and just because I could, and also to see if I could do it real quick, I've gone in those rooms and masturbated and not cleaned up.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah, bro. Hill, hardcore hillbilly was like, "Damn, that's fucking gross." And I was
Oh
like,
my
I know.
god.
But see, I wouldn't see Airtel where we stayed in. That was a nice that where we were staying. We didn't even stay at Airtel. We stayed at a Best Western near, but it was nice. There were
Mhm.
cameras everywhere. There were security guards like combing the grounds. You couldn't smoke, so I wouldn't have tried it there. But like sometimes, like I'm talking like Red Roof Inn and shit like that. Like fucking
The
Motel 6.
Motel
Like
6 in Newark.
yeah, like shit like that. And sometimes I've been put in places like that because of promoters, or when I did the IWA Deep South, I stayed at kind of a shitty one just 'cause it was near the airport, and I was like, I gotta get out of here when this is done. So yeah, I do gross. So question. Is there any kind of like cruddy thing that you do that it's like, oh my god, if people knew I did that, they would be like, Cat, you're gross. Like, do you have any crudball things?
I do,
Because that's what I kind of
enema.
consider that. I mean, okay, so not cruddy, anything adjacent to what I just said. That's kind of like I do this thing and no one knows that I do it, and like it gets me off.
I
Let's hear. Let's hear.
Oh my god. Okay. I used to, I don't do it now, but I would if we would go to, like, a fancy restaurant, and I'm not just saying with Robert, but just, like, in general, like, anybody I dated, anytime we go to, like, a really nice restaurant, I wouldn't wear panties, and I would wear a dress, and then I would finger myself under the table to see how long it took my person to notice that I was masturbating under the table.
I fucking love it. I fucking love that. Especially because it was a fancy restaurant. And I'll bet you that there may have been other people around that are like, yo, this fucking broad's figuring yourself, like, that are like, on dates. Fuck, I just broke my fucking vape. Look at this. What a sad day.
It's,
Ah, what a
like, the
bummer.
worst.
That is like, ah.
That's like the
I'm
worst
sorry,
ending.
but it is, but that story is great. I love that you used to do that in fancy fucking restaurants. That is fucking awesome. Did you ever have a date never noticed, or did they always catch on like, yo, you're fucking fingering yourself?
Well, they would catch on because I would start asking questions. I'd be like, "How many?" And they'd be like, "How many what?" I'd be like, "How many? Take just any number, 1 through 10. How many?" And they'd be like, 3." And then I would do the 3. And then they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Have you looked under the table? Look at my shoes real quick." And then they'll like look and they're like, "Oh, oh." But me, they'd be like, "Stop doing it." I'm like, "No, I gotta stop until I come." And then like I would get myself right there and they're like, "Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?" And then I wouldn't. Because I like
You little
edging. I
bitch.
like edging too much
Me
to
too. Me too. Yeah, edging is the best. Um, but yeah, okay. So we covered a lot of topics. Thank
another
y'all
fun
for
night.
joining. Yeah, please reshare this afterwards. We're starting to get some people that are looking forward to it. Johnny Richter, thanks again for the super chat.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I mean, our schedule seems pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We're doing this like kind of bi-weekly, getting it
Yeah.
in whenever we fit in. Hopefully by the next time we talk, I can tell you about fucking because I'm on a mission. It's like cuffing season and it's been long enough. So
Time to get
I gotta get some news stories. I gotta get some news stories because all my stories are old.
time to get, Larry Jr. to have some fun.
Hell yeah, he's been lonely. He wants to cock dock. He wants to do a little cock docking, which is also one of my favorite things to do. One of my favorite things to do is to dry hump with my partner, like we have pussies. Like I like to like pretend that we both have pussies and we have to like fuck each
And
other's like
you scissor each other?
kind of like
Are
that,
you
yeah. Or
trimming?
just lay like right on top of each other and just like get in between each other's
Like
legs and love.
like what girls do the first time they're experiencing anything with another girl, they're like, "How do we do this?
Yeah,
How do we do
yeah,
this? How do we do
it's
this?"
fun. Exploration is fun, and sometimes you find. All right, I'm gonna say this one last thing. I have this one kind of random hookup that I go see. He loves to pin my legs back. He loves to pin my legs back, but like he's in like the frog position. He's in like the frog position, like on his feet, on the
Yeah.
flats of his feet with my legs pinned back, but he doesn't like stick it in. He just like rocks me back and forth like on his feet with my legs pushed back. And I always think it's so weird, but he loves doing that. Like it gets him off so much. And I'm like, okay, bro, let's do the rock maneuver that you love to do. Like, whatever.
Oh, oh my gosh. I
And then
swear that's like something right out of a movie. Where it's like, "You want me
yeah,
to
like
do what?"
like, yeah, it's like, and I remember the first time he did it, he was like, something different. That's what he said, and I was like, okay. Like, and now he does it every time, so yeah. All
I
right.
love that. Alright, guys. Well, make sure you shout us out, spread the
Yeah.
word, subscribe, like, follow us on all our social medias,
Yep.
and, get your
Eh,
tickets to Drive-In Massacre.
yep. Drive-In Massacre in Newark. And also, real quick, just want to shout out the legendary Slava for our photo shoot in Van Nuys. You and I should probably do this more often just for content because we look good together. And Slava makes everyone look so fucking good. Slava makes us
Mhm.
all look like amazing. So shout out to him. It's a great spread. I shared it on my Instagram earlier, a little reel, so everyone can get ready for tonight. And yeah, look at Larry and Kat together in suggestive poses because that was fun doing that. I feel like there were more
Yes.
pictures too. I feel like he didn't give us all. I think there's more. We should get
I
like
know, he's
candid.
hiding all the other ones. Here's just a
Uh
little
huh.
taste.
Yeah. 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 But anyway, we're past the hour, y'all. Thanks for joining us, Johnny Richter. Thanks for super chatting. Gens, we love you. Thank you, Lamar, for watching. And we will see y'all next time for another edition of All
Aw. Hole.
Holes Phil.
Mwah.
Bye, cat.